Hi, what's up everyone? I am GCROCK and welcome to today's video. Today I get to speak about Star Wars Outlaws. I was able to play this. I got invited by Ubisoft to play it a few weeks ago, and I'm now able to release this video and talk about it. So we're going to be just talking through what I got to play. I'll be speaking about my experience, giving my first impressions, but also talking through some of the mechanics of the game and stuff like that. That's what today's video is, so I'm excited to share all this with you. I do also have some raw footage as well though. I have uploaded some of the missions that I completed over on my VOD channel without commentary. They are edited, but you can go and watch those videos if you want to, if you just want to see some action alone. I'm going to link each of those videos down in the video description if you want to go and check them out. Star Wars Outlaws releases on August 30th, so we haven't got long to wait for this now. It's very, very close, and I can't wait to get a hold of this game and play it and create some content for you. If you pre-order this now, if you get the Ultimate Edition, or if you have Ubisoft Plus, you actually get to play this 3 days early also, so that's worth thinking about. So a little bit of a disclaimer before I go into this. I've never watched a Star Wars in my life. You can flame me for this down in the comments. I don't know why. I've just never watched one. I have played some of the Star Wars games though. I obviously know some of the story. Star Wars is a huge thing. It's quite impossible to go through life without knowing something about it. And I'm quite excited for Star Wars just because the game studio, the developers that create the game that I love, the Division franchise, have been working on this one. I know how well they can make games, and the Snowdrop engine, how beautiful that is. And judging by some of the past Star Wars games I've played, I believe this is the first ever open world Star Wars game, and straight away as soon as I got into this little playtime I had on it, you're introduced to that open world. You go through it, you have to reach this base where I am now at Macau's Cantina, and you just straight in. This is currently like the intro to the game and the first mission that I believe you're going to be playing. Right away in this introduction, it was clear to see this was going to be a game where you could have multiple choices or multiple options of completing various tasks. So currently in this introduction mission, my task was to reach GCROCK in his suite, and it was kind of like only accessible via VIP pass. If you go and speak to the bartender, she won't let you up there, and you got to find another way. But I met this NPC as well who said he could sell me a VIP pass, so I could either find a way into that suite, or I could find enough credits to buy this VIP pass from this broker. No joke, I was stuck for a little bit of time here trying to figure out how to make enough credits to buy this VIP pass. I forgot all about maybe finding a way into the suite, and I found this Canto Favia racing simulation where you could bet your credits on who's going to win the race, and if they won the race, you'd win some credits. So I just kept on using this until I got enough credits to buy that VIP pass from the guy. I then went back to the guy to buy the VIP pass, and then the bartender seen straight through it anyway. So that was a complete waste of time. I absolutely loved this. So I thought this was very quirky. I loved right away that we were getting like different choices to make on how we wanted to proceed. And I thought it was a nice touch. But in the end, I had to go and find this vent, which introduced me to the override lock mechanic. And I proceeded through this way. As soon as the introduction mission is out the way, you learn about the factions and reputation system. And how this works in Star Wars Outlaws is like any other games, really. You're going to get missions given to you from different factions, and there'll be choices as well in dialogue options or choices you can make. And your choices are going to impact directly on whether that faction like you or not. You can have a poor relationship with them that can get poorer. You can have a better relationship with them that will get better. And decide, and based on your options, will decide on what benefits you get with that faction. So for example, here, I was on a mission where I had to go into this area that was ran by the Pike faction, but they would not give me access to the area because I had a poor relationship with them. However, if I get a better relationship with the Pikes and it's a good relationship, I'll be able to just walk right on in. And there's other things and other benefits like that. So as you go through your playthrough, you want to be making choices and decisions based on how I'm going to say how well you want to get along with that faction, but how easy you want things to be when you're in their areas. Because if you have a very, very bad reputation with them, then they're going to attack you. You know, never mind just not let you on the turf. They will attack you. Whereas you have a very good one, they're going to let you on their turf. They're going to let you pick up any resources that you want and things like that. It's a very good reputation system, and it's all based on decisions that you make. These decisions will really alter how your playthrough goes, because I had one objective where I could choose which area, which factions area I wanted to go to get the objective done. And I had a good reputation with one of the factions at that time, so I could just walk in and easily get the objective done, whereas the other location, it would have been poor, and I'd have had to go in and be more stealth about it. And talking about stealth is introduced very early in the game of Star Wars Outlaws. It can be a very stealthy game if that's what you want to do. The stealth mechanics are there. You can choose whether to be stealth, you can choose whether to go all guns blazing. In fact, in some areas and part of some objectives, like this one now on screen, you're actually not allowed to get caught. There's going to be parts where you have to be stealth. So you will need to use your senses, and also you've got Nyx, your little companion that can kind of like pulse out enemies and things like that. And you will be using all of this that's available to you to kind of figure out a strategy to get past some enemies to get the objective done at times. Speaking of Nyx is a great companion and an absolute valuable asset along your playthrough. There's going to be areas like this where you've got to complete some puzzles, and you'll need Nyx's hand as well. There's a switch that's beyond this sort of broken ladder or broken wall here that I can't get to, so Nyx is going to go and hit that switch for me, and then we're going to be able to progress. There's plenty of puzzles throughout the game world like this where Nyx is going to help you, but not only that, going back to the stealth aspect, Nyx can really help you to stay stealth as well. Nyx can act as a decoy for you to get past certain areas. Nyx can also attack enemies for you. There's a range of things Nyx can do to, again, alter your playthrough and your playstyle, how you want to play this game. Things like pulsing out enemies as well. Such a good companion and very, very enjoyable. This area on screen now, the Pike Stronghold, is a great area to kind of showcase the choices that you have. You'll reach this area quite early on in the game, and you can, if you want to, do this all stealth, or if you wanted to, you could go all guns blazing. If you decide to go all guns blazing, alarms are going to go off, they're going to get reinforcements, you are going to have a lot more work to do. But if you scout the area, you use Nyx to your advantage, you're going to be able to do this area, get the objectives done without ever firing a gun or them even knowing you're there. And this aspect seems to be there from what I experienced through the whole thing. I don't think there was any part really. There might have been a couple where I had to engage in gunfire, but stealth pretty much seems to be always an option. When you do choose to go loud, though, you do have Kay's weapon, which I forget what it's called, if I'm being honest with you. It's like a sidearm, and it has many different functions that you can upgrade and get additional functions added to it. And it's unlimited ammo. It kind of overheats, and then you cool it down to use it again. It's very good. You can use other weapons, though. This is the only thing I actually have had equipped to Kay through my playthrough. However, when enemies do die, they will drop weapons on the floor. There will be weapons hanging about as well. Like I'm about to pick up this sniper blaster. You will find different things that you can use. They will be limited, and as you go to other areas, you'll automatically drop them. So for the most part, when you do engage in gunfire, you will be using Kay's weapon. And not only is Kay's weapon just good for gunfights, it's also going to be great for puzzles. One of the early missions introduces you into upgrading this weapon so you can get a different mod on it, and then you can switch to that mod here, as you can see on the clip, to complete a puzzle. So I've just switched over now. I've got to shoot this, which is going to open the door. So this is quite an early mission in the game to introduce you to this mechanic. So I imagine there's going to be quite a lot of puzzly aspects to the game as well, where you'll be using this firearm. And I now want to talk about the open world. I did spend quite a bit of time going through the open world on my playthrough, and this clip here is great. I found this bar or cafe, whatever this is, shop, and I came in and I was able to listen on the counter here to a conversation with these two NPCs. And there's some other areas in the game like this where you could just listen to conversations, and these will give you intel, which is there's like 3 different categories of missions. You've got your main objectives, you have intel objectives, and you kind of have like super intel objectives as well. It's really good how they do them. And just by going into this area and listening to that conversation, I unlocked an intel mission, which was then to find a piece of treasure. With that information, I was able to take that clue and go and find this waterfall, which is where they said something was stashed behind. And then this unlocked the next step to that quest. It wasn't here, but it was this little data pad that I was able to read. It kind of said, why would I hide anything behind the waterfall? Some good humor there. And then I got the next step of that Intel hidden stash objective to go and follow. I could view that in my journal. I could keep on following that if I wanted to. There was so much going on in this open world. I ran across this NPC here that was shooting this creature. There's a couple of NPCs shooting it, so I thought I'd get involved as well. I thought I'd kill it. There's a couple of these to kill. I killed the NPCs. There's a bit of loot around the area. And I also ran into a pirate raid as well. This just popped up as I was traveling. Again, there's some loot to get. There's some stormtroopers. I had to take care of the stormtroopers. And then once all the stormtroopers were taken care of, I could open the containers and grab my loot to complete the pirate raid. There was so much to do in the open world of this game, which I think is very important for an open world action adventure game, and there's lots to be getting on with besides the main mission, and I like that. Star Wars Outlaws, what I noticed as well, is not going to be your looter shooter game where you're going to be looking for gear and weapons and different stats to make yourself powerful, get the best god rolls and things like that, or level yourself up. I didn't see any of that in this game at all. There is no leveling system to K. You're not going through your levels, just nothing like that. The RPG elements in this game is about finding resources and finding loot to upgrade K's equipment. And what I seen in my playthrough of the game, the time that I had on it rather, is that I was looking for plenty of resources that I needed to find to upgrade my weapon, to upgrade my ship, and to get some objectives done. And that's the RPG element for you, with a lot of different NPCs to interact with, a lot of different decision making that affects how your playthrough goes, and things like that. And yes, I did get to use K's spaceship in space as well. This was brilliant. It looked absolutely stunning. Flying through space, completing objectives, getting into gunfights as well with other ships. There's kind of like the aspect as well, it's not on Starfield's level, if you're thinking Starfield, but you are able to fly around and go to like different planets, land on them and stuff like that as part of your objectives, which is pretty cool also. And you're able to see that in this clip here. My objective is to reach the Kijimi spaceport. And as I get closer to the planet, I'm able to initiate landing and land. In the time that I had on Star Wars Outlaws, I thoroughly enjoyed it and I cannot wait for the release. I can't wait to get properly stuck into this and see what the game has to offer. Compared to other Star Wars games I've played in the past, I don't think there's been a Star Wars quite like this. I think this is its first of its kind in the Star Wars sort of genre, and I believe people are really going to like it. I was thinking while playing it of game comparisons as to what I'd compare it to, and I felt there was definitely a bit of Uncharted in there if you played the Uncharted series, especially with the combat and the gunfire. It felt quite a lot like that, and then the puzzly side of it as well with the puzzles. I'm thinking kind of like Uncharted Tomb Raider type of games. But then with the open world aspect, the stealth mechanics, the fact that there's so many different decisions that you can make to alter your playthrough, I was thinking all sorts of games from things like Splinter Cell, Starfield, God of War even. It seems like it's taken a lot of inspiration from a lot of good games that do these open world or even just the action adventure games very, very well. I'd go as far as taking some inspiration from games like GTA and Red Dead Redemption. There's multiple times that I went into some bars or areas like this where I could load up an arcade machine and play a game. There was different games. It wasn't just like it was one game. This was one that I played for the footage. But in other bars, there was different games to play. And then I found these NPCs playing this card game at a table that I could also sit down and play. I could use my credits, try and make some credits. It took me through the whole tutorial of what this game was. And I was thinking back to the days of when I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and I was playing blackjack to try and earn cash and get some achievements. This was really good. Like, there was like 3 rounds of this game, and you can even use your companion here to try and cheat as well. So there's lots of stuff to explore in this game and find, and I don't even think I found half of it. I was just at the start of this game. I'm quite excited to see how much of these worlds I can explore and find as I go through my playthrough. So I think you can tell my first impressions of this game are very, very good. Thank you, Ubisoft, for inviting me to play Star Wars Outlaws. When I had to get off it, I didn't want to get off it, and I wanted to carry on playing it. I asked for the full version, which you said no to, so I have to wait until the 30th, like everyone else, or 3 days earlier, because I've got the Ubisoft Play, so I get the ultimate version of this game to play on the 27th of August. I can't wait. I'm going to be streaming this live. I've been creating loads of content for it, and I can't wait to explore this game in full. I think it's going to have a lot to offer, and it's games like this. I don't want to go too far-fetched, but it's games like this that get nominated for Game of the Year sometimes when you think back to things like God of War games and that. So they do a very good job on this. From what I've played so far, they have done. Who knows what the potential is and how people are going to perceive this. I think people are really going to like it. From what I've played, I did. I hope you've enjoyed this first impressions, hands-on, from my time playing this game. As I said at the start of the video, I do have some raw gameplay for you. If you want to go and check that out, I think there's 4 missions in total that I've uploaded on my VODs channel at the same time as this. Go check the video description, check those VODs out if you want to see some of the game and some of the sounds and without me talking. Thank you for watching this though. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe for more content. Until next time, take care and peace out.